Are you sacrificing your potential for the sake of comfort? Think about that for a second. How many times have you stayed in your comfort zone because it just felt safe and familiar, even though you knew actually if you wanted to get to where you wanted to be, you needed to step out of that so you could grow? Welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sanj, and as always, I'm here to help you shift your mindset, to help you build better habits, and to help you create the life you've been dreaming of by shifting your mindset so you can master your life. So today's topic is going to challenge you and it's going to push you, but in the best way possible. So let me start with a quote that I love from Roy T. Bennett, and that is, "Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying." And this is something that I can actually successfully say I've put into practice. I had fear of starting this podcast, but I actually feared not trying even more. I feared actually going live on Instagram and Facebook, but I feared not actually getting my message out there even more. So failure can happen, but actually the fear of not trying, that's the thing that would live with me forever. But at the end of the day, it's easy to fear failure and not take that step, to not take that action. Comfort is an easy choice. But the truth is, if you're always choosing comfort, you're actually saying no to progress. And by saying no to progress, it means you're actually saying yes to staying exactly where you are. And how would that feel if in 5 years from now, you're exactly where you are today? Today, I'm going to be talking about why we naturally lean towards comfort over progress, and actually how it's holding you back from living the life you want. One where you're waking up every day enthusiastic, excited, and energized. I'll be giving you 3 examples of how leaning into comfort rather than pushing for progress, how it can play out in your daily life. And as always, I'll give you actionable tips to help you stop this from happening. So if you're ready to stop playing small and actually step into the life that you want, the one you desire, the one you dream of, let's jump in. So first of all, let's start by understanding why you're wired to prioritize comfort in the first place, because you cannot change anything until you understand why you're doing what you're doing. And it's not just you, it's human nature. So it's everyone that's doing this. Our brains are designed to protect us, and to protect us means doing the same things, doing the familiar, and avoiding any discomfort, avoiding any risk, and anything that feels like uncertainty. Basically, our brain wants to do the same thing day in, day out, because it knows that change is uncertain. So think about that. When you're comfortable, you're feeling safe, you're feeling secure, you know what you're doing, you know exactly how things are going to play out. It's like being wrapped in a warm blanket on a cold day in front of a nice roaring fire. It's heaven, because there's nothing out of the ordinary. But progress, that's when you throw off that blanket. That's when you go outside into the rain, into the snow. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and you don't know what outside that blanket has got in store for you. And that's where things start to actually change, because your brain is actually stopping you from doing that. Your brain wants to keep you wrapped up in that warm blanket, keep you there nice and warm, safe, secure. But progress, that's you saying, no, you know what? I've been safe, secure for long enough. I'm ready to go push myself and be uncomfortable. Because the problem is, progress and comfort cannot coexist. When you choose comfort, it means avoiding challenges. And challenges, those are the things that help you grow. Those are the things that get you to become the person you want to get to. It could be in your career where you're avoiding asking for a promotion because your current role is comfortable and you're used to it. You know what you're doing. Or it could be in relationships where you're avoiding having a tough conversation because you don't want to deal with the fallout or the discomfort of a potential conflict. People avoid uncomfortable situations even when they know that those situations are necessary for personal growth. So if you've ever avoided discomfort, you're not alone. It's literally how we are built. But the good news is you can rewire your mindset so you can start to prioritize progress over comfort. And imagine what that would look like if you started to change your life. In 1 year, imagine how much further you could be along. Well, imagine where you could be. Then compound that by 5 years. So, as I said, I'm giving some real life examples. So here are 3 ways in which you're choosing comfort over progress, and I'll give you examples of how you can stop it as well. So the number one, which a lot of the guys I've coaching have said and actually have come, and it's now become a bit of a kind of recurring theme, is staying in a job that you've outgrown. You've been in the same job for years. It's easy. You know the routine. There's little stress. But deep down, you're just feeling stuck. You know that actually this isn't the job for you. You know that you're actually just feeling like you're in a rut, but you're not sure about doing anything. You've got dreams. You've got hopes. It could be something like starting your own business, maybe moving into a leadership role. Maybe it's starting a whole new career. But you stay put because the unknown feels too risky to you. You don't want to change anything. You don't want to rock the boat. So if you want to act, if this is you, if you're feeling like this, first of all, drop me a comment, let me know. And the second thing is, if you want to stop it, if you want to change it, start by asking yourself, what is the worst that could happen if you take the chance? It's actually your fear of the unknown which is holding you back. Your fear and the way you overthink all the scenarios you run through in your head is far worse than actual reality will be. Statistics have shown that 85% of the things you worry about never actually happen, and of the 15% remaining, 12% of that you deal with better than you thought you would. So only 3% of the things you're worrying about may actually occur. 3%. So anyway, if you're going to stop this, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen if you take the chance? Break your goal down into small, manageable steps. If you want to start your own business, or you want to maybe move into a new career, begin with something like research, networking maybe. Because progress doesn't mean jumping off a cliff. It actually just means taking one step at a time. It doesn't have to be a big step. It could be a tiny step. But if you're inching your way forward 1 inch at a time, you're getting there. The next one is avoiding hard conversations in relationships. Is there, for example, maybe there's something bothering you in your friendship, in your relationship, with whether it's with your partner, your kids, but instead of addressing it, you stay silent. Why? Because you want to keep the peace, because it's easier to avoid the discomfort of that confrontation. You don't want to rock the boat. But what you can do to stop that is start by reframing the situation. Rather than thinking about the discomfort of the conversation, actually think about the potential outcome of having that conversation. Yes, there may be discomfort for, say, a couple of hours, but imagine the outcome: a stronger relationship, a healthier relationship, a happier relationship. And when you start to reframe it, you can start using things like I statements to express your feelings. So then you're not placing blame. The person on the other end doesn't feel like you're blaming them. Like when I feel happy, I feel angry, I feel exasperated. And you can also argue in the future tense. And by that, I mean, you can do things like say, okay, how are we going to avoid this happening in the future? And then when you do that, when you argue in the future tense, it means that both you and the person you're with are working together to solve a problem. And when you actually engage in that honest, that open communication, you're more likely to actually have more satisfaction within that relationship. And finally, this is the biggest comfort zone trap. And that's sticking to easy and familiar habits. We've all done it. I know I'm very guilty of it. And it's taken years to start undoing some of these. But you stick to habits just because it's something you've always done. How many times have you said, oh, I do it because that's the way it's done? But the convenience of actually takeout food over cooking. Or you scroll your phone, you hit Netflix rather than going to the gym. It's not that you don't want that progress. It's actually just that in the moment, comfort is the easier choice, and comfort will always be the easier choice. Why? Because that's why it's comfortable, because it doesn't require as much effort. So if you want to start changing your habits, you want to start moving things, just start small. If batch cooking feels overwhelming, doing all your meal prep for a week, just prep 1 day's worth of meals. If going to the gym feels like over too much, just do 10-minute workout in front of the TV. The key is to make the first step so small that it just feels doable. And what you'll find after that is it starts to build and it starts to compound and it starts to improve. Consistent changes, actually small consistent changes, increase the likelihood of you building long-term habits. And when you start to actually choose progress over comfort, it actually leads to fulfillment. Because here's the amazing thing. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you're building a life that you're proud of. You're doing something to get you to become the person you want to be. When you push past the discomfort of asking for the promotion, you gain confidence. You open doors to new relationships. When you actually start to face those tough conversations head on, your relationships become deeper, more meaningful, happier, more open and honest. When you choose a harder path in your health, you gain energy, strength, and pride in yourself. And when you do all these things once, you're going to be wanting to do it again. Let's take the health, for example. You say start eating 3 healthy meals a week, or you prep 3 meals a week, and you start to notice your energy goes up. You're starting to look a bit better. You've lost a bit of weight. You can be, actually, I'm going to change that 3 to 5. And from that 5, you go, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to start going to the gym a bit more. And then you change that 5 to 9. And then you go, you know what? 9 to 15. And you start to build it up. And again, even with those tough conversations, you have one and your relationship improves by, say, 1 level, jumps 1 level. Then you have another one and it jumps 2 levels next time. Then 4 levels and 8 levels. And it just keeps building up. Think about this. Progress is where fulfillment lives. And at the end of your life, do you want to look back and think, I stayed comfortable? Or do you want to think, you know what, I gave life my all and I created something amazing? So what's one area of your life where you've been choosing comfort over progress? And what one step can you take today that's going to change that? Comfort feels good in the moment. It's instant gratification, but it doesn't last long. But progress, that brings fulfillment in the long run. That's delayed gratification. It's not about making massive changes overnight. It's about consistently choosing the harder path 1 step at a time. You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this episode valuable, share it with someone who needs a little nudge to step out of their comfort zone. If you got something from it, please leave me a comment, leave me a review. Let me know what you got out of this episode. And until next time, keep challenging yourself, keep growing, and remember, progress is always worth the effort. When you start to shift your mindset, where you're choosing progress over comfort, you start to master your mindset. And by doing that, you start to master your life. Thank you.